Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today we will discuss about unit number 3, English, class 10th. Accepts wishes and beautiful greetings from here. Our topic is dreams. Before going to the text of this poem, first of all we need to know about literature, what literature is. Literature speaks about beauty, about sadness, happiness, desires and so many other beautiful emotions. Literature is divided into prose and in poetry. There is a difference and we need to understand the difference here for the students. Paragraph you will find in prose. Paragraph carries single ideas enclosed in itself, while poetry is composed within stanzas and stanza also takes in single idea. In poetry another term is very important, dear students. You need to understand that term, and that is allegory. This is a allegory means surface meanings and deep meaning. Here we will consider poem. First of all we will read the text. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. By Langston Hughes. Students, you need to understand there are 8 lines, but 8 lines laden with so many ideas. अगर आप इस पे गौर फरमाएं तो इन अल्फाज में समंदर छुपा हुआ है. इस पे जो मेहनत की जाती है वो शायर को पता होता है, और वो शख्स जो पहचान सके कि इन अल्फाज के अंदर क्या छुपा हुआ है वो इसकी कदर और इज़्ज़त जान सकता है. First of all, now next our task is we will underline difficult words. Then we will move towards theme and the main idea and the summary of this poem. Hold fast to dreams. Hold fast, to keep something tight firmly, holding something firmly. For if dreams die, here die means finished. Life is a broken winged bird here. Metaphor is used. Metaphor direct comparison without word is and like, that cannot fly, that hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field. Barren, we will learn word barren. Frozen with snow, here the word frozen is there. When you will read this poem, when you will study about this poem, you need to give 3 readings. Each reading will generate different ideas in itself. Hold fast to dreams, hold tightly your dreams. Think on your emotions, think on your aims. For if dreams die, if your dreams are finished, if you are not dreaming, if there are no ideas in your mind, then it means your life is useless. Life is broken winged bird. Bird, useful, man, quality of the bird, that is the flying quality. And flying organs are there. If their organs are broken, then how it will fly? So here just try to understand the idea. और एक और चीज़ आपने ज़हन रखनी है कि 2 किस्म की मौतें होती हैं. एक फिज़िकल, जब इंसान से सांस चला जाता है वो फोत हो जाता है. जब आपके जज्बात, जब आपके तासुरात, जब आपकी ख्वाहिशात ख़त्म हो जाती हैं, ये आपकी पहली मौत होती है. तो हमारी पहली मौत यहाँ पे आपको नज़र आएगी. आपकी ड्रीम्स ख़त्म हो गई, इट मीन्स दिस इज़ योर फर्स्ट डेथ. फिज़िकल डेथ फिर इसके बाद वाक़ई होती है. इसलिए ज़िंदा इंसान की ये खूबी होती है कि उसके ख्वाब होंगे, और ख्वाब इस तरह से नहीं होंगे जैसे ड्रे ड्रीमिंग, बिल्ली के ख्वाब में चीचड़े नहीं, वो वाली बात नहीं. आपने ख्वाब देखना है, ख्वाब देखें. अल्लाह ताला ने आपको ये खासियत खूबी दी हुई है, लेकिन उन ख्वाबों को पूरा करने के लिए फिर आपके पास एक प्लान होना चाहिए. प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ, नॉट दैट सुपर नेचुरल लाइफ, प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ. एंड हियर राइटर इज ट्राइंग टू से कायनात के तख्लीक पे आप गौर करें, दुनिया की तख्लीक पे आप गौर करें। ये पहले एक नज़रिया था, एक आइडिया था, और ये आइडिया क्या होता है? ये आइडिया यही ड्रीम होती है। तो हमने पहले अपने जहन में, अपने दिमाग में और अपने दिल में ख्वाहिशात पैदा करनी है, ख्वाब देखने हैं, फिर उस ख्वाबों को पूरा करने के लिए उसके लिए हमने एक प्लान बनाना है, राइट। फिर उसके ऊपर हमने अमल करने और जाके हमने उसको हासिल करना है। सो लाइफ इज ब्रोकन विंग बर्ड, मीन दिस बर्ड इज यूजफुल, quality of flying is not there in it, or you can say disabled bird. So dreams, you are complete. Without dream, it means you are incomplete. Second stanza. Now first stanza with single idea. Here you can say that introduction of dreams is there. If dream is not there, what will happen? What you will be like? Second stanza now. Hold fast to dreams. Once again repetition. For the purpose of rhythm inside the poetry. Poetry जो होती है इसमें म्यूज़िक होती है, and music doesn't mean that piano, guitar or something like that. जो आवाज़ सुनने में खूबसूरत लगती है, जो अच्छी लगती है, जब जिसको हम सुन के अच्छा महसूस करते हैं, तो हम ये कहते हैं कि इसमें म्यूजिकलिटी शामिल है। तो सेम थिंग इज़ here writer is trying to create this rhythm with the help of these words and repetition. Alliteration is there. पोइटिकल डिवाइस आपने शायद पढ़ी भी होगी, अगर आपने नहीं पढ़ी तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि एलिट्रेशन पोइट्री में इस्तेमाल करते हैं जिसमें अल्फाज रिपीट होते हैं। एंड वाई दिस रिपीटिशन इज देयर? फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ म्यूजिकलिटी, म्यूजिक। फॉर व्हेन ड्रीम्स गो, हेयर डाई, हेयर गो, यू कैन से सिनोनिम टू ईच अदर। डाई मीन्स गॉन, फिनिश्ड। लाइफ इज अ barren field, barren. Try to understand this word. Barren. Barren field means useless field. Field not useful or that is not fit for cultivation. That is barren field. Don't be like that. Frozen with snow. Frozen here once again. This is the identity of death. You need to understand. Here you will have philosophy. You need to understand philosophy. आपको समझना चाहिए कि ये फलसफा होता क्या है। फिलॉसफी इज़ द स्टडी ऑफ विट, ये अकल और दानिश की पढ़ाई होती है। और जैसा हमने इस चार्ट पे, पिछले चार्ट पे हमने बात की थी कि इसमें एलेगरी है। एलेगरी का मतलब ये है कि ऊपर आपको एक मीनिंग इसका मिल रहा है, लेकिन इसके अंदर एक और मानी छुपा हुआ है, और आपने उस मानी को निकालना है, आपने उसको तलाश करना है। इफ़ यू हैव अचीव दैट message or the meaning in this poem, it's mean that poet is successful in his ideas. And remember this thing, it's not that much easy कि 8 लाइनें हैं और पेन उठाओ और इसको लिखना शुरू करो ना, ये ऐसी बातें नहीं होती। इसके लिए एक विजन की ज़रूरत होती है, विजन की। जब आपने उस विजन को अचीव किया है, फिर आपको अल्फाज की ज़रूरत होती है, फिर आप इस अल्फाज को मिला के फिर जाके एक जो चीज़ बनती है उसको पोइट्री कहा जाता है। वैसे दुनिया इन शायरों की वैसे इज़्ज़त नहीं की जाती, इसकी इज़्ज़त इसलिए की जाती है कि इनमें एक दूरंदेशी मौजूद होती है, इनको पता होता है कि सतह पे क्या होता है और गहराई में क्या होता है। तो इसलिए आपने इस चीज़ को बहुत संजीदा लेना है, सीरियस लेना है। दिस इज़ नॉट द पीस ऑफ केक स्ट्रेट अवे गो एंड जस्ट पिक इट अप ईट, और इसको आपने फेंक देना नहीं है, इसको आपने इसके मुताबिक इसको इज़्ज़त देनी है। फ्रोजन, वंस अगेन वी वर एट फ्रोजन। Heat is the identity of life. You know it very well in sciences. You may read. Heat is the identity of life. Coldness, ice, that is the identity of death. Death means finished, decay. Things are gone. So here once again, frozen means freezed. Death with snow. If your dreams are gone away, you are like barren field. You are like a frozen, freezed with snow. It means nothing is there, zero energy is there. This poem is written by Langston Hughes. Now second task for this poetry, that is paraphrasing. So now we will study about paraphrasing. This is very important for your paraphrasing. Question number 3 in board paper, and you need to keep one thing in mind. This is something very, very technical. First of all, you need to understand what is paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is rephrasing. You will change language of poetry to from poetry to prose. Poetry without rules regulation of language, and prose is with rules and regulation of the language. So here you will follow all rules regulation of the language. Another very important thing you need to understand, here personal explanation, exaggeration of your own ideas, explanation of poets' ideas, you are not allowed to do that very thing. Remember this thing. Students are with the journal concept. When you are there in board paper, तो आपका ये ख्याल होता है कि जितना आप ज़्यादा लिखोगे इतने आपको ज़्यादा वेटेज मार्क्स. नो, दिस इज़ अ रॉन्ग आइडिया. पैराफ्रेज वो टेक्निकल चीज़ है, जितना आपको ओरिजिनल दिया गया है उतना ही आपने उसको कन्वर्ट करना है. तो ये पैराफ्रेजिंग के रूल्स आपने, पोइट्री को आप इस पोइम को कम्प्लीटली पढ़ें, इसके जितने भी वर्ड्स हैं ट्राई टू अंडरलाइन दोज वर्ड्स एंड देन write the meaning of those words and then change this poetry to prose. That is paraphrasing. For example, hold fast to dreams mean hold firmly your dreams in your fist. For if dreams die, if your dreams die, life will be like a broken bird which cannot fly. This is first stanza. Hold fast to dreams, keep firmly, keep tightly your dreams. For when dreams go, if your dreams are gone, if your dreams are finished, life will be like a barren field, not useful for cultivation. It will be like a frozen lake with snow. Frozen lake means death lake. By Langston Hughes. And look to page number 22 there in your books. Students learning objectives of this unit. After reading the lesson, the students will be able to read a poem and give orally. Orally means in spoken and in writing. Theme, basic purpose and idea of the poem. We have already read and I hope you have understood this thing. And its development. You need to understand development, how the opening is there, climax and then end. Personal response with justification. Paraphrase. Very important task for your examination. And summary. Read and analyze how a writer poet uses language to appeal to senses. Appeal to senses we have read about. Or rhythm. In poetry you will find rhythm through use of figurative language. Figurative language which creates pictures in the mind, that is figure of speech. Literally devices including similes and metaphor. Create imagery. Imagery means picture. With the help of words, poets try to create picture in the mind of the reader. Painters use the medium of colors. Musicians use the medium of music. Writer use the medium of words. अल्फाज में तस्वीर बनाई जाती, दुनिया बनाई जाती है. Read and recognize literary techniques such as repetition. Repetition we have already read for the purpose of rhythm. Personification. Personification is also literally device. It means giving living quality to non-living or non-living quality to living, or human quality to animal or animal quality to human. That is personification. And alliteration is once again the repetition. Write a persuasive argumentative essay on a given topic. This is a kind of essay which is included in your grammar section. Distinguish fact from opinion. State an opinion on the topic. List ideas and arguments that support opinion. Distinguish or differentiate between language used for persuasion and propaganda. Propaganda is device very well known in political sciences. Use persuasive language to enhance idea, anticipate, think and respond to opposing argument by defending point of view. Whenever you will speak with the help of facts. You will try to support your idea. Straight away you cannot accept anything and straight away you cannot reject anything. You need to remember this thing. ज़िंदगी में सीधा हाँ या सीधा ना नहीं कहा जाता. हाँ के पीछे वजूहात होती हैं और इसी तरह से ना के पीछे भी वजूहात होती हैं. By defending point of view with factual evidence, quotations, expert opinion, logical reasoning and commonly held beliefs. Illustrate use of transitive and intransitive words, very well known topic in English grammar. There are 40,000 simple topics in English grammar. This is among those. Transitive which needs object for its completion, and intransitive without object. Make and use present and past participle. Inshallah, we will discuss later on about present and past participles. Illustrate use of infinitives and infinitive phrases. We will study. Illustrate use of gerund and gerund phrases. Now come to page number 24. Your books. First of all, glossary is there on the top. Glossary will help you in paraphrasing. Word hold fast is there. It means hold something tightly and firmly in fist. And remember, this fist, the body language, is the show of your confidence, of your level of ability. Barren, too poor to produce much or any vegetation, means not fit for cultivation. Field, an area of open land, especially one planted with crops or pasture, typically bound by hedges or fence. Frozen, having turned into ice as a result of extreme cold. Then exercise is there. Comprehension. Answer the following questions. Notes are available there. Inshallah, you will have those notes in hard copy. First question is, what is the theme of the poem? Theme of the poem means message of the poem. And the message of this poem is dream. Dream, but not that daydreaming. Dream. First of all, you need to have dreams, and then you will make a plan for those dreams to achieve. How important do you think dreams are? Explain. Dreams are very, very important. Without dreams, nothing is there. Check out. Look to your left. Look to your right. Whatsoever is there, this is all dreams. And all these are those ideas in the mind of Creator. Identify an example of a word or phrase that is repeated in the poem and explain why the poet makes this repetition. Though the first line of this poem, that is hold fast to dreams. Once again in second stanza, in the last stanza of this poem, once again this line is repeated, and that is hold fast to dreams. Identify an example of personification. Explain what is being personified and how. Personification, giving living quality to non-living, giving human quality to animal, or vice versa, you can say. Life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. So here, this is personification. The quality of flying is here, attached or connected with life. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. Once again, personification is there. Number 5, identify lines containing metaphors. Metaphors mean direct comparison. Metaphor has sister there, and her name is simile. Simile and metaphor. There is a slight difference. In simile, you will find word like and is, and metaphor, it's just straight away, or you can say simply metaphor is comparison without word like and is. What idea are being conveyed by these metaphors? Here you can explain, and that is barren field in second stanza, last stanza, and broken winged word, that is in first stanza. How is imagery used in this point? Imagery, picture is there. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is broken winged bird that cannot fly. So these lines are creating a type of picture of a bird in your mind with a broken wing. This is imagery, and imagery is a type of creation of picture in the mind of reader, and here writer used the medium of words. What is the mood of this poem? Mood, tragedy, comedy, or what is, in which style this poem is written, and that is persuasive. Persuasion is used here. A writer, here poet is trying to explain the idea of dreams. Thank you very much for literature. Our second task that will be related with grammar. Grammar unit number 3, topic is on page number 28. Our topic in book, that is clause, main clause, subordinate and relative clause. But before going to this topic, we need to move towards foundation to the basic, and that is the sentence. In language, complete unit of expression and thought, that is sentence. Sentence, subject, verb and object. Sentence is possible without subject, sentence is possible without object, but you need to remember sentence without verb is not important. Sentence may consist of one word, it may consist of so many words. So the single word, that word will be verb. So sentence, complete thought of expression. Now second portion, that is clause. Clause is a part of a larger sentence. Sentence, according to structure, there are 3 kinds. According to the meaning, there are 5 kinds. So according to the structure, first kind of sentence, that is a simple sentence, and that is subject, verb and object. Then compound sentence. Compound sentence is a combination of 2 clauses. Coordinative conjunction will be there inside that. For example, this is marker and that is whiteboard. This is a marker. First structure with subject and object, that is whiteboard. Another structure with subject, verb and object. Combination of these 2 structure is of compound sentence. Then there is complex sentence. So once again the same story, complex sentences also carries 2 type of clauses there. So our topic is clause, a part of larger sentence. You can take the example of building. Building, for example, our school is of so many rooms there. So each room is the example of clause with its own doors, with its own positions there. So the clause, subject and verb, it's a part of a larger sentence. Here consider this sentence, this example, it was raining. Relative pronoun, when I came out. Complex sentence, this portion and that portion, and this portion is connected with the help of this relative pronoun. So here this is first clause and this is the second clause. So dear students, you need to understand clause, part of larger sentence. You will find confusion between phrase and clause, and there is a big difference between phrase and clause. Phrase, combination of words with incomplete ideas, but here the story is different, and the story is subject and story is of verb. Then there are 3 kinds in our book, that is the main clause, subordinate clause and relative clause. Main clause, principal clause, you can say resultant clause, independent clause. The whole sentence, complex sentence. In complex sentence, main story you will find about that will be the main clause. It was raining. This is the example of main clause or principal clause, when I came out. If you will divide this sentence, it carries with its own meaning, but here this area is useless on the part of speaker. So main clause is principal clause as well as independent clause with its own meaning. Subordinate clause is combined, and this is the explanation for the main clause. Subordinate clause further explains main clause, and subordinate clause is without its own meaning. When we will connect subordinate clause with main clause, then you will find a complete meaning. Otherwise, subordinate clause will not give you any meaning. And another identity for subordinate clause, that you will find subordinate conjunction there. That is whenever, as and because. A relative clause. Relative clause in relation. Another important thing we need to understand in English grammar, names carries ideas there. These are not the name of like human beings. For example, if the name of the person is Sharif Khan, it doesn't mean he is Sharif, right? So it carries ideas. Relative, which relates, creates relation. So relative clause means it will create relation with the main clause, with the principal clause, and there you will find relative pronouns, that is whom, that and who. For example, I bought the book. This is the first clause, main clause. I bought the book. That, relative pronoun, costed 100 rupees. So this is main clause, then this is subordinate clause, and this clause is relative clause, and this is relative because it relates, and there is relation by the help of this that. I hope you will understand these clauses, main clause, subordinate clause, as well as relative clause. Thank you very much for watching.